Welcome back once again. Now we are moving to mathematics textbooks. We will be having a discussion on grade 7 mathematics textbook and the features of grade 8 textbooks as well as the bridge program we developed for grade 8 textbooks. And for that we have with us Professor A.K. Vasarwar, who is presently heading Planning Monitoring Division at NCERT, a mathematics professor who is the coordinator of middle stage as well as the secondary stage textbook. And he has been involved in the development of various textbooks for NCERT, other teaching learning materials like exemplar programs, learning outcome, NISTA. There are lots of activities he has been involved, and he is continuously involved in teacher training, supporting the teachers across the country, especially in the area of mathematics. And I would like to extend a warm welcome to Professor A.K. Vasarwarji for this session. He will be focusing grade 7 mathematics textbook as well as bridge program. Over to Vasarwarji.
Namaskar to all. Namaskar to all of you. I'm here to talk about the textbook for mathematics for class 7, which will be made available soon, very soon, to the education system in general. Now, these textbooks which we are developing are based, as you already know, on National Education Policy 2020 and NCFSE 2023. Now, the expectation of these documents is that the concepts should be learned in a playway method. As you know that mathematics itself is an abstract subject. The principles that are involved are more important. And how to draw attention to these principles is a major problem, is a major concern. Because if the students are not able to understand those algorithms, the way they are being formed and the use of these algorithms in a simple way, they won't get attracted towards it, and more importantly, they won't be able to explore further things in that. So exploration of the concepts is more important, and we want to draw the attention of students towards this exploration part. Now, these textbooks that are being developed, or this particular textbook that is being developed, is attempting to draw the attention of students towards this fact. Throughout the textbook, you will find that there are lots of activities, puzzles, games, etc., where they are not just for the sake of these things, but where the students get involved in solving them. It is expected that with the help of teacher, they will be able to solve and get engrossed in doing all these things, so that ultimately what happens is they gain conceptual understanding. Without their knowing that they are doing such an abstract thing, they automatically gain the understanding of that if they get involved in such things. And this is what is being done in our textbooks, right? Last year also we developed class 6 textbook. This year we are developing the class 7 textbook, and this is an important feature of our textbooks. So what we expect from the teachers is that the teacher should facilitate. As you might have heard, teacher is a facilitator who facilitates the learning of concepts among the children. And this is what is an opportunity for you all, that after going through the book, you will be able to yourself enjoy the book, enjoy the concepts, the way they have been developed, the way they have been introduced, the way they have been gaining depth. These things will definitely involve you in reading these textbooks, and of course, similarly, you can pass it on, that particular spirit, among the students whom you are teaching. So this is a most important part of our textbook based on the NEP 2020. You can see that in this presentation I'm going to talk about a few things about the textbook. The first two chapters are the leftover chapters that we intended to do in class 6. Large numbers around us and arithmetic expressions, but due to some or the other reason, it could not be done there. So they have been introduced as chapter 1 and chapter 2, sort of the transition chapters that we call them. And then there are total in all 8 chapters. There are 2 parts, part 1 and part 2. In part 1, we have 8 chapters. In part 2, we have another bunch of 7 chapters. And you can see that there is a variety of things here. It is a combination of number system, combination of geometry, statistics, and all these things are intertwined together in different ways. So the placement of the chapters is an important part here. If the teacher wants to follow that particular order, it's well and good. Otherwise, they have their own choice to do that. And you can see the names of these chapters. That is more important. Some of the names is a peak beyond the point, by which we mean the decimals. Then the other is a tail of 3 intersecting lines. We mean here the triangles. Geometric twins, in the second part you can see, we are talking about congruence. So these are some of the things that could attract the attention of the students. They can think over this, why these names have been coined, and they can relate it to the concept that is being taught or that is being given in those chapters. And when they discuss it in the classroom, they will enjoy it more. You can have a glimpse of one of the pages of this chapter where you can see that the placement of the concepts is being developed. The concepts are being developed from day-to-day life examples, and slowly it is being related to the mathematical thing, the mathematical concept. So this is about expressions using letter numbers. So we are talking about the algebraic part here, and how these letter numbers come into play. That has been done in this particular chapter. So there are different instances, there are different activities that are being discussed here, and using that, then slowly we introduce the concept of the letter, that is X, Y, Z, Amen, LMN, etc. later on. Another thing is, you can see here there are question marks put in different places. When the teacher discusses the concepts with the students in a particular flow, what happens is, such questions that are there, had they not been marked there, they would have been neglected by the teachers and students. They are very much required for the discussion. And so these things, in order to attract the attention of the students and teachers towards these important questions or points during their discussion, these question marks have been put, so that when they arrive at that question mark, they should discuss with the students, they should allow the students to talk about it, allow the students to discuss among the peers, with their friends, and so on. There is a separate thing called the exercise also, but we are calling it figure it out. So figure it out will have the numbers, and they will have formal questions also. But these questions are again based on the realistic situation, the situations that have been discussed earlier in the chapter. So this particular combination of things make the chapter more interesting, the concepts more interesting. You can see here that there are certain things that are the key aspects of the features, or the salient features, I can say, of this particular textbook. There are things like conceptual understanding and meaning making. These are the important aspects of learning mathematics. So for conceptual understanding, I will give you an example that in the chapter on, in a certain chapter, there are situations where it makes rounding off things we talk about. We simply plainly tell them that if it is more than 5, round it off to the next number, and so on. But here what we are doing is, we are giving a situation. I will just read it. There are situations where it makes sense to round up a number, and there are situations where we are required to round down also. So for example, if a school has 732 people, including students, teachers, and staff, the principal might order 750 sweets for them. So it has been rounded up because the situation demands that. And there is another situation where we say that if the cost of an item is rupees 470, the shopkeeper may say that the cost is around rupees 450 instead of saying that it is around rupees 500. So you can judge the difference. If he slightly lessens the price, and if he slightly increases the price, what happens on his sales. So this is something related to the daily life situation, where how manipulations can also help many times in understanding the things. And these particular things have been taken care of in this particular chapter. The other thing that is important is thinking and reasoning. the example for this is, we have a calculation, right, 116 into 5, that has been done as 116 into 10 by 2. It is easier for me to calculate 116 divided by 2 and I get the final answer. Or I can say 824 multiplied by 25 can be 824 into 100 by 4. So this can also be done in a 824 rather, not 825, divided by 4 is easier to calculate and then multiplied by 100. Now these are the things where students, though they know all these concepts, they know the division, they know the multiplication and all that, but if it is used in a particular way, if it is used in a systematic way, how helpful it is in calculating such examples. And this particular thing has been brought to the notice of the students through such examples. So that is one more thing. Then we are focusing on procedures also. For example, what will be the nth term for multiple of 2, or what is the nth even number? Now we have to think about it. How to calculate the even numbers? What is the format of the even numbers? And using that particular format, we are trying to see what will be the nth term of that even number. What is the 100th odd number? What is the nth odd number? So we are trying to tell them the procedures also. For the concepts of HCF and LCM, while we are calculating the LCM, we are doing that particular method of division, and then after dividing it, we multiply the numbers and then say that this is the LCM. But from the same method, we can calculate SCF also. So we can involve the children in doing that. So procedure is also is important. At the same time, the thinking and manipulating the things related to that is also very important. So these are some of the things that I wanted to share with you. You can see the other things there, like quality over quantity. It is not just that we are having too many concepts stuffed in one particular textbook, but we are trying to develop the concept with their sub-concepts and trying to go to the depth. For example, in the case of fractions, we simply don't say 4 by 5 and something. We are trying to first calculate what particular thing does it mean. It can be formed from unit fractions. So 4 by 5 will mean that it is 4 times 1 by 5, 1 by 5 plus 1 by 5 plus 1 by 5 and so on. And this particular thing then further develops into addition, subtraction and so on, and how easier it becomes for the students to do that. So that is just an example I wanted to quote. Looking at a concept in diverse settings, a particular concept has been given and the students look at it in different ways. And that particular thing is going to settle down the concepts in their mind, that is going to have a good depth about that concept in their mind. Exposure to historical development is an essential feature of this, because we simply don't say that we didn't have anything in our past. Our ancient people had done all these things earlier, and we are trying to bring back those things to the notice of the students as well in different examples. So in the class 6 textbook, you might have seen there was a Capricorn number. In the chapter of integers also we had Brahmagupta's method and so on and so forth. So these people had worked a lot, and these things were done in our past also. So we are trying to bring back those things, that these have been the important features of our mathematics learning in the immediate past. Now you can see the style and flow of chapters. You can see that we start the chapter with a certain question, then we explore that particular question, think about it, how it can be done in a different ways, and then finally we come to a certain concept based on that. That is what we call conceptual development. And once the conceptual development happens, again we pose a question to that particular thing and then proceed further. So this particular spiral way of going about asking question, talking about it, think about it, and then forming a concept, and then again questioning that particular concept, whatever we have formed, and then moving ahead in that particular direction. So that has been mainly mainly happening throughout this book, not only in this book, but whatever books we are going to develop now, and whatever book we have developed in class 6 also. So these are the type of things that need to be taken care of by the teacher, so that if it is discussed in that particular spirit, students will take interest in doing that, and they won't feel that mathematics is that abstract as they were thinking, nor is it something that the concepts need to be rote memorized. They don't need to memorize things in that particular fashion without understanding them. So as automatically, as soon as they follow this particular structure, the understanding will grow. They will automatically take interest in doing that, and so the students will definitely be drawn towards mathematics. This is what our aim is, and we want that they should explore more and more things in mathematics. Teachers should try to help them in doing that. The different types of questions are before you on the screen. Diagnostic questions, that build the concepts, and for practice as well, concepts, the questions to build thinking and reasoning. All these things are taken care of. Questions with multiple answers, questions having no answer. There could be a situation, but the student has to identify that this particular thing has got no answer here. Then worked out examples are there, based on which students get an idea of how that concept is dealt, how that concept can be used. Then numerical problems are there, word problems are there, puzzles and games are there, where they are required to use the concepts that they have studied, or this could lead to a further concept at many places. So this is the scheme that is being worked out. You can see a few questions here: diagnostic questions, conceptual question, then thinking and reasoning question. You can see that in the question on fractions, one fraction multiplied by another fraction, though it seems that this is a very big thing, a very big calculation, but if you think it from the different direction, you can see the choices that have been given there: greater than this, less than this, equal to this, and so on. So they have to think which is the fraction that you call that can give you a number that is greater than 1 and less than 1. So this particular thinking happens here when they talk about these fractions. For example, the first fraction is greater than 1, that is a improper fraction. The second fraction is a proper fraction. So what could be their product? That thinking has to happen in the classroom, that discussion has to happen in the classroom. Then write a story or situation based on these mathematical statements that have been given. So 9 plus 21 minus 10, something like that, or some other statements could be there. They have to build up a story here, that there were 9 persons there, they were doing something, then 21 joined them, then something happened, and then 19 went away. I mean, students have a lot of imagination. If you can just throw these things to them, just give them an example, I'm sure they will enjoy constructing the stories as well. So these are the different types of questions we have put interspersed throughout the book, and the students are likely to enjoy that. Mathematical processes are important. You can see that at the right, you can see there are 5 figures given, and then you have to first identify what is the pattern there. The first 2 numbers and the number at the bottom, is there any relation between them? And that relation the students are required to explore, to discuss among themselves. There could be so many possibilities, and finally they can settle down to one particular thing and give an algorithm for that how this particular thing has been built. That is more important. Building the concept, building the algorithm for a particular pattern is more important, and that is the basis of mathematics, and that is what we are required to teach the students. You can see here there are use of comics. The students are saying that the number which he is speaking is quite a big number, but it is an odd number, and they say so many persons got married. The girl is asking, doesn't it require an even number there? So, I mean, when the marriage is happening, two persons are getting engaged, and so how can it be possible that this could be an odd number? I mean, that kind of discussion can happen, and the students' imagination is really challenged. Similarly, there is in computational thinking, because in the NEP 2020 there is a mention of computational thinking and mathematical thinking. So in computational thinking, when the algorithms are formed, we have to break a particular situation into small parts and have some algorithm or have some you can say mathematical thing for that particular portion, and then finally build up a general formula, a general algorithm. And this is what has been done. This is about some HCF LCM, and the student is saying that instead of dividing by 2, 3, 5 and so on, I will divide straight away by 10 if it is possible, or I will divide straight away by 50. Why can't I do that? And then they reach that particular conclusion. You can see the figure below there. You can imagine the first person is saying 0, the second is saying 1, the third is saying 0, and so on. What could be the meaning of this? But these numbers here, 0, 1, 2, what do they mean? The students have to think about it. Is it something related to their heights? Is it something related to their weights, and so on? So a hint could be thrown by the teacher so that students can themselves build up the further things. These are the visual things that have been given. You can see those crosses there. There are patterns you can find there. Now, the first one has got 1 dot and 4 dots around them. Similarly, then it again increases, 4 dots are increased. What kind of numbers you are getting and what kind of pattern you see there. The diagram related to that, those sticks there, it seems that those lines are not parallel, but it's a visual illusion that particular thing has to be discussed. Then the tree and the stick which is being put there, it forms a triangle, and some discussion could go on, and some project could be given to the students as well. The concept of 3 by 2, that is half, 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 or 1 and a half. Either way, the students can explore that. So these are the things that are important, that the students, when they at this particular stage try to think about these things, they are in their further career, in their further learning of mathematics, the concepts will not appear to be boring. The concepts will be not appearing to be very hard or abstract to them. They will be enjoying playing with them. And there are certain misconceptions that have been dealt here. Many times the students do these misconceptions, try to solve the problems in a different way, and so a lot of things have to be discussed at this stage. There are different properties that are involved in while solving this kind of thing. You can see here that there is a cross-subject integration, talk of plastic and related to the numbers, then talk of some idli dosa cost in earlier times, and then the figures that are shown here, they have some definite shapes like triangles or some other shapes, the dome-shaped, spherical shape, and so on, that we see in our day-to-day life. Just looking at the figure is not important. We need to discuss about these figures. We need to see the features that they show us. And this is about the historical exposure and IKS, where we are talking about the different things which have been done in the past, and it is already on your screen. You can see that, and I think you can discuss it with your students at length about what it really means. And now, after this textbook, the way this textbook has been developed, the concepts are interlinked not only to concepts of mathematics, but also to the concepts that are dealt in other subject areas. So this has to be taken care of. So these are some of the main features of this textbook that will be coming soon before you, and you will be able to enjoy this particular book, I hope. Now, for the program that is prepared for students who are entering class 8, as told by Professor Vijayan, the students have read the old textbooks of class 7 and they are now entering class 8. So there will be a change in pedagogy basically, because lots of things, as you can see in class 6 and 7 textbooks, will be happening in class 8 textbook also. And so considering this particular thing, if the students come to class 8 straight away, they may find it difficult to understand the things the way they have been presented. That is more important. The concepts will be same. 2 plus 2 is going to be 4 only. But how it is presented, what is the expectation of the book writers, that is more important, and they should not feel left out from this particular process. So that for that particular purpose, we have introduced this bridge program for mathematics for class 8 students, and we are trying to facilitate the students' thinking through this particular program. We have developed this book, which, as Dr. Vijayan has already told you, that will be available on the NCERT website. The idea of the bridge program is to have a fun-filled series of games and activities, and it is really the fun-filled games and activities are there. If you go through this bridge program and if you involve the students in these programs, I suppose the students will really enjoy that. There are approximately 6 to 7 activities per week, and it's a 6-week program. So accordingly, the activities have been developed and they have been put in this bridge program. So there are recreational activities. There are activities that are, say, puzzle type of activities are there, and you can see here in a simple calendar how many things can be done. A picture has been given of a calendar, not the full calendar, but a part of it, and based on that, different questions have been asked, different activities can be performed on that particular part. This has been shown. This is one of the activities. Then the puzzles are there. They have to fill up these puzzles. You can ask them to do that. And then this is something about, they have read in class 6 also, that why some of these boxes are colored and what is the significance of that. Initially you need to discuss about it, and that requires observation, that requires the calculation, that what is the placement of these numbers here. And this particular thing is important if the students do that. So that is all about the class 7 textbook of mathematics that will be coming soon before you, and the bridge program for class 8. The expectations of the bridge program that all the complete 6 weeks should be fun filled. The classes of mathematics that happen during these 6 weeks should be completely filled with fun and vigor and enthusiasm about mathematical concepts, so that they will be easier to be dealt in class 8 then. So thank you very much, sir, for giving me this opportunity to speak to the august audience.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for your excellent presentation on grade 7 mathematics textbooks as well as bridge program for grade 8. There are a couple of questions related with mathematics as well, but most of the questions I can see is related with grade 7 and grade textbook, 8 textbooks, when it will reach. This is one question. This is a general one. I just would like to tell you all that grade 7 textbooks will be coming very soon. Very soon, maybe within 1 week, you can wait. One textbook already we released. You can see Purvi grade 7 English textbooks. Other textbook also will be coming very soon. And the question comes based on that is, until the textbook comes for grade 7, what the teacher need to do? This is a question coming from many of the teachers.
Yes, I mean, till then, of course, though we don't have any separate bridge program for that, but the teachers can engage them using the bridge program that we developed for class 6, because many of that particular spirit of learning, that particular spirit of activities and games is the same. So you are going to have this thing in class 7 mathematics also. So you can engage the students in doing those activities, games, puzzles, etc. so that the students don't get baffled when because these are the students who are reading the old class 7 textbook. So these particular things, if they can pick up from class 6 also and develop for themselves, a little more exposure can be given, a little more depth could be given by the teacher herself. I think the students will enjoy whatever small time or little time is left till the book is appearing before them.
Yeah, exactly. For the next 1 week, at least if the teacher can develop their own material so that grade 6 activities you have, textbook you have, when they are moving towards grade 7, the competency is same, only the learning outcome will differ, the higher learning outcome. You can see the grade 6 textbooks as well as bridge program we developed. There are lots of fun-based activities. I think the teacher can develop some activities and you can engage the students mathematical so that they can enjoy learning mathematics very effectively. And that is the thing you can do. Within 1 week, you will be going to get the textbook. Then you can start grade 7 textbooks. And some questions came about bridge program for class 7, and we are not developing any bridge program. We told you the rationale behind the bridge program. And bridge program's rationale is very clear. It is to bridge the gap with the old curriculum, with the new curriculum, and to make aware or provide teachers as well as students the new pedagogical perspectives based on NCFSE and NEP 2020. Therefore, grade 7 we are not developing since we have already grade 6 textbooks, new textbooks, and students from grade 6 are coming over grade 7 with the new pedagogy, new approaches. And meanwhile, the teacher can develop various activities based on grade 6 textbooks as well as bridge program for engage the students for the next 1 week. And there is another interesting question since you started with detailing class 7 textbook title and chapter titles. And the question is, does 8th class maths book is also getting new chapters and chapter names?
Now the chapters and the concepts in mathematics, the names could be same. If I say algebra for class 6, the concepts will be in a very raw form, in a very elementary form. And as I go to class 7 or class 8 and speak out the same name again, there will be a depth of concepts, though the name is same. So there could be a change in titles, no doubt about it. We are trying to give some interesting titles so that students get attracted and they enjoy that particular, those words talking about themselves. So, I mean, at the moment, the class 8 textbook is in progress, development phase. So you'll get it in a month's time. But the way these titles have been developed, as I told you, and not only in this class, but in class 6 as well. So based on that, I suppose you will have some more interesting titles for the same concepts that are being developed.
Yeah. Any question from YouTube? Yeah. I think we have taken almost all the questions. Thank you very much, Professor Vasarwar for being with us for this excellent session of new textbooks. And of course, this is only a brief about the new textbooks and bridge program. NCERT is going to develop, organize a detailed orientation and training program when the new textbooks comes for grade 7 and 8. Thank you very much.